What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Triple Play Fantasy YouTube channel. We got a fun video that I'm really excited to bring to you guys today with baseball season right around the corner. Prospect talk is hot. It's buzzing. Guys are performing in spring training. So you're trying to figure out which prospects you should be looking at, not just for 2022, but beyond 2022. For the purpose of this video, though, I'm going to break down for you guys the top prospects who are set to debut in 2022 and can make a real impact for your 2022 fantasy baseball team. I like to call this Who's Next, if you will. So some criteria for this list, these top 10 prospects to debut in 2022. The criteria is they cannot have played in an MLB game. The list is based on 2022 impact. As we said, it's not necessarily prospect pedigree. So again, maybe somebody that's on this list may not be a better prospect than someone that's not on this list, but they're going to debut this year while another prospect may not. And then what I'm going to give you guys is my 2021 or the 2021 stats, and then the 2022 projections that I'll give you that I think are fair projections to expect for each of these players. So let's kick this off. Let's start off with our number 10 guy, and that first player is going to be Nolan Gorman, who in 2021 in AAA, 76 games, 274 average, 14 homers, 48 RBIs, 45 runs, and 3 stolen bases. In 2022, I'm expecting him to play 120 games, hit 248, 18 home runs, 61 RBIs, 62 runs, and 4 stolen bases. Now, Nolan Gorman moved over to second base in 2021 because Nolan Arenado locked up third base, and they basically wanted to be able to make sure they could get in the same lineup. I think this is going to come early in 2022. As, like we talked about, a 274, 320, 465 slash with 14 home runs in 76 games at AAA Memphis last summer. Many believe there's plenty more pop to come in his upcoming age 22 season and beyond. And spring training, he's already kind of looked like he belongs in the majors. I think the Cardinals are going to want him there to start out. He's one of the things that's kind of exciting about Nolan Gorman is he's made 2 noteworthy changes from last year. Obviously, we're talking about him moving from third base to second base, but he also dropped his strikeout rate upon reaching AAA and also improving his contact rate at the same time by changing his swing mechanics, lowering his hands to streamline his swing. He's got well above average power, the kind that you really like to see at second base, and his defense should be good enough to keep him in the lineup. I think he's going to be somebody that pushes the second base position, and they can move Tommy Edman to the outfield so that way Gorman gets some time. I think you will see him, if not up right away, he'll be up pretty quickly within the first month or so of the season. My number 9 prospect on this list that I think you'll see a lot of this year, catcher MJ Melendez from the Kansas City Royals. I'm really excited about MJ Melendez. As you can see, last year in AAA, 44 games, 293 average, 13 homers, 38 RBIs, 37 runs, and 1 steal. If you actually look over his 123 games from AA and AAA, a 288, 386, 625 slash, led the entire minor leagues in home runs with 41 while driving in 103 runs with a 1.011 OPS. Absolutely just destroyed pitching last year in AAA and AA. And it's a good problem for the Royals to have, because you already have Sal Perez there, but you know he can DH, he can play first base. I know Nick Prado could eventually also make it this year, but I think Melendez is a little bit closer to debuting. I think he's somebody that could push right out of camp to also, if not right away, be up there in the first month. Right now, my projections have him playing about half the season in Kansas City, 82 games with a 265 average, 12 home runs, 35 RBIs, 40 runs, 0 stolen bases, but should be somebody that you can get late as a third catcher that will really benefit you in your fantasy team, especially if you waited a long time for your second catcher. The number 8 guy on my list, Jose Miranda. Twins fans are really excited about Jose Miranda. Last year in AAA, 80 games, 343 average, 17 home runs, 56 RBIs, 61 steals, 0 stolen bases while in AAA last year. An overall breakout season, if we're looking at his entire numbers, where he hit 344, 30 homers, 94 RBIs, and 591 plate appearances, a 973 OPS. That total would have actually placed him 5th on MLB OPS's leaderboard between Fernando Tatis and AL MVP Shohei Ohtani. So that's the type of potential this kid has. You can also see him anywhere on the infield. He played 13 games at first base, 20 at second base, 39 at third base. So he can definitely fill out different areas on the diamond. The question becomes, where can he play, right? So first, obviously, you have Jorge Polanco at second. You have Carlos Correa at shortstop. You got Gio Urshela at third base. And you have a combination of most likely Miguel Sano and Alex Kirilloff shifting over at first base. So right now, there's not necessarily an opening, with Luis Arias expected to be the top utility player there. Now, I would expect that it will take an injury for him to be able to be called up and crack the Twins lineup. But I don't think you have guys like Carlos Correa, like Gio Urshela, these guys are not actually known for their clean bill of health. And I do think he's going to be the first one called up when something like that happens, and they'll keep Arias in a utility role. When it's all said and done, I think he'll end up playing 110 games, give you a 266 average, 18 home runs, 59 RBIs, 68 runs, and a stolen base. He's somebody, again, that's very legit. His bat is going to be a big asset for the Twins lineup, and he'll play in their lineup sooner rather than later. Our number 7 prospect to debut in 2022 and make an impact for your fantasy team is Riley Greene, who is one of 2 Tiger prospects, spoiler, that are going to be on this list. He was the 5th pick in the 2019 draft, splitting his first full professional season between Double and Triple A, hitting .301, .387, .534 slash with 24 homers and 33 doubles and triples combined, 16 stolen bases in 17 attempts. Really good line. Obviously, if you look at just his AAA numbers, 40 games, 308 average, 8 homers, 30 RBIs, 36 runs, and 4 stolen bases. But again, he looks like he belongs. He's a polished hitter. He should be hitting towards the top of the Detroit's lineup as soon as opening day. He's right now doing really well in spring training, and somebody I would expect that could right away get one of those outfield positions for the Tigers right there. The defensive questions are where it's right now becoming a problem, as he's primed to play center, but I'm not sure if actually he'll start there, so he might start in a corner. So that's kind of what we'll have to keep an eye out on. But the bat is going to play. Detroit is right now, the youth movement is in full effect. I would not be shocked to see Riley Greene out there from opening day. But again, one of those guys within the first month you could see 123 games, I expect, for this coming season. 256 average, 21 homers, 62 RBIs, 13 runs, and 11 steals. Someone you can get definitely towards the end of your drafts right now. Great value. Number 6, Oneil Cruz, who many, I'm sure, recognize this name now. Oneil Cruz, last year, he kind of is the only one on this list to technically break the rule that I had, where you're not allowed to have any major league experience. Well, he played in 2 games. So at the end of the day, that I kind of didn't count that, just because that's really nothing at this point for a hitter. But it's not, obviously there's no guarantees. Pittsburgh is not a very good organization. They need the talent. You expect that he could start the year out in AAA. So maybe he's not right from the get-go, but he's absolutely destroying pitching in spring training. He's electric. He's exciting. And for those that don't know, he's 6'7", and he plays shortstop. It's a very kind of unicorn type of position that he's doing, or that he plays there at shortstop. He had 5 home runs in 6 games last year during AAA. So he obviously already looked like he belonged there. But from AA to the majors last year total, 70 games, 383 average, 18 homers, 50 RBIs, 64 runs, and 19 steals. I think ultimately in the MLB this year, he's going to play 133 games. Hit .317, 23 home runs, 69 RBIs, 70 runs, and 19 steals. He's going to be a great player. Obviously, he's getting drafted a lot more now than he was earlier in draft season, but he does look like he has a lot of the potential there that people are looking for. That power-speed combination that people are liking from Jazz Chisholm. This could be a less expensive Jazz Chisholm in your draft, especially at this point now where he's not moved up draft boards to the point where it's harder to draft him. He's got big-time power. He's a fast runner, dynamic offensive talent. He's cut a strikeout rate. It's going to be a guy that's going to really have a big impact this season, so make sure you draft him for your fantasy teams. Number 5 on this list, Grayson Rodriguez, who last year you could see his 21 numbers in AA, 79.2 innings, 2.60 ERA, 13.67 K per 9, and a 7.1 walk percentage. However, just besides that, he's been one of the most promising pitching prospects since he debuted, showing dominance at every single level. 161 strikeouts and 103 innings between high A and double A last year, a 5.96 K to walk ratio. He's already looking like a big league starter with his physical frame. He's got a broad, high-grade arsenal, dialing the fastball to triple digits while elevating it up above the batter's hands late in the counts. Complements his hitter with several swing and miss secondary pitches. The slider, don't even get me started on that. It's absolutely filthy. And he already is looking like he's ready to make that move to AAA come this season. The O's obviously have no reason to rush him, but I do think you could see him up closer to the halfway point this year. I have him going about 120 innings with a 4.28 ERA, 10.88 K per nine, and 9.1 walk percentage. Again, the Orioles need pitching. I do think he's somebody that you will see, maybe not right away, but give it a couple months closer to the All-Star break. I think he'll come up and he'll be a good guy to have. You'll get on the wire towards the end or towards the middle of the season. Great pick-me-up for your fantasy team. At number 4, we alluded to it. Another Tiger on this list, Spencer Torkelson, who everybody knows was a very high pick for the Tigers, was the number 1 pick just a few years ago. He played 40 games in AAA last year. You could see 238 average, 11 homers, 27 RBIs, 35 runs, and a steal. But keep in mind, this was for his entire season last year. He had 29 doubles, 30 home runs across 121 games with a 267, 383, 552 slash over 3 levels of the Tigers system last year and a 14.5% walk rate. This is a guy that has a solid hit tool, high walk rate, a plus or better power tool that will give him immediate impact, I think, for fantasy. He should be able to give you 25 home runs and a decent average and OBP right out of the gate here. Detroit, if they want to give him the shot out of spring training, you can have Jonathan Scope play second. Torque can play first base. I think he's someone with the potential to be a top 10 first baseman in his first season. And then obviously beyond this season, I think he'll be something even better than that. I have him making it right out of spring training, and I think he'll be the starting lineup. 130 games, 247 average, 26 home runs, 72 RBIs, 75 runs, and 2 stolen bases. I think he's somebody, he's already been getting drafted, and he's somebody that, especially if you wait at the first base position, you can grab him late and I think reap the benefits of that. Very excited for Spencer Torkelson. Number 3, another Oriole on this list, Adley Rutschman, who everybody knows Adley Rutschman. He was the number 1 pick back in 2021. You have to be a little bit concerned with his tricep strain. That's going to obviously make it where he doesn't start out the year with the Orioles. It was, I think, very much debatable. He could have made it right out of spring training. The 2019 number 1 pick, not the 2020. But at the end of the day, an OPS of 899 between AA and AAA in 2021. Excellent defense behind the plate. He's going to be the future face of the franchise for the Orioles here. He's got 4+ or better tools. Basically, everything besides his speed is excellent. Knows the strike zone really well. Is going to command a game really well behind the plate. Hit 312, 405, 490 in 43 games at AAA last year. At this point, it's just a matter of when and not if. He's somebody that I think, give it maybe the first, again, few weeks, month, and he'll be up there for the Orioles. They'll want to start selling tickets. They need him in the seats, to get people in the seats, and they'll bring him up. 117 games, I think, when it's all said and done. 264 average, 16 home runs, 57 RBIs, 61 runs, and a stolen base. Adley Rutschman is going to be a lot, I think, of a better real baseball player than fantasy baseball player for everything he does. His first season isn't going to be anything flashy. I think it will be a solid low-end catcher 1. But look for his second season, I think, where he'll be considered a top 3 catcher, and I'm sure he'll be drafted that way. But for now, a great catcher 2 target for your fantasy league. Number 2, this is a 1A, 1B for me. Julio Rodriguez. Everybody's excited about J-Rod, and rightfully so. We saw him last year hit 347, 441, 560 across 2 levels, mostly in AA. He's only 20 years old. And when he actually debuts, it's going to be one of the most highlighted things in baseball. He's going to hit for average. He's going to hit for power. And obviously you can see he had 21 stolen bases, so you know he's going to be able to steal 21 all of last year, 16 in AA. But you could see the AA numbers in 46 games. Absolutely just outrageous. He's somebody that's got a strong arm, middle of the order type of presence. above average power, better feel for contact in his profile. Only struck out just 18% of the time during 46 games in AA, which is huge. Now, the question becomes, where is he going to play? Because you have Jesse Winker out in the left, you have Jared Kelenic in center, and you have Mitch Haniger in right. Kyle Lewis is currently hurt. He would be a fourth outfielder, and Dylan Moore could obviously spell somebody if they need it. DH is also a question mark right now. I think as this video is being produced today, I think he's going to make it out of spring training because he's showing them everything right now that he should get a job. He's absolutely destroying hitting in spring training, playing really well. The Mariners are a win-now team, and I think they'll actually give him a shot, which I think is going to be huge. But if it's not right out of spring training, guys, it's not far behind. He's somebody you need to make sure in your redraft leagues that you're drafting and you're not leaving on the waiver wire. He's going to play this year. I have him playing 109 games, 272 average, 19 home runs, 51 RBIs, 59 runs, and 11 stolen bases. This is a guy right now that any type of dynasty leagues, he's going in the first or second, third round, most likely first or second in most of the cases. But again, Julio Rodriguez, absolute just firecracker, is going to be somebody that you're going to want to make sure you take towards the latter half of your drafts. And I think, again, if not opening day, I would expect to see him within the first month. My last guy, who I will be utterly shocked if he does not get a job out of spring training, and it shows what's wrong with baseball if he does not because of some service time or some other stupid stuff that exists, and that's Bobby Witt Jr., my favorite prospect right now. AAA last year, 62 games, 285 average, 17 homers, 46 RBIs, 55 runs, and 15 stolen bases. But that doesn't tell the whole story of Bobby Witt. He's going to be absolutely special. If you combine his AA and AAA numbers, a 290, 361, 575 slash, 33 home runs, and 29 steals, earning Baseball America's Minor League Player of the Year honors. Keep in mind those are just over 123 games. This is a true 30-30 potential type of guy. Someone that only Cedric Mullins did last year in the major leagues. So right away, he's putting himself potentially in that class, somebody that could do that this season. Obviously, besides the great numbers, profile as far as his strikeouts, which were once considered a concern, 24% the year before, cut down to 22.5 last season. He may start out of the gate striking out a lot, but Witt has shown he's able to adjust very quickly at every single level. This is a guy that is going to be not just the future face of the franchise in Kansas City. This is going to be one of the future faces of the league. This is going to be somebody that is going to be on the Tatises, the Trouts, the Harpers, the Acuñas. This is the next it guy. J-Rod can be there too. I'm very sure about Bobby Witt. I'll be shocked if he's not going to be AL Rookie of the Year. I think he's easily the favorite. And one of the things I like is that he's getting some reps at third base. So that way he can get in the lineup right away. Very excited about Bobby Witt Jr. I was just in a draft today where Bobby Witt Jr. went into the third round. That's how much hype he's getting, and rightfully so. He's somebody that I think from day one is going to play, and rightfully so, just how I have it there with this 2022 prediction. 139 games, 262 average, 21 home runs, 67 RBIs, 80 runs, and 25 stolen bases. I have him going 20-20 right from the start in his first season, actually a 21-25 line with a 262 average, which is a pretty decent batting average for your rookie year. Go get Bobby Witt Jr. Please make sure you have him on your redraft rosters, especially in roto leagues. He's somebody that is going to have the biggest impact of any prospect in the 2022 fantasy season, and honestly, I think could have the most of anybody coming up in the next couple of years. Very excited about Bobby Witt. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you check out our sponsor, which is, of course, our guys at OddsJam. This video is being sponsored by OddsJam. OddsJam is an innovative solution designed to identify odds that make you the winner every single time. They have the fastest real-time data to spot discrepancies between different sports books and help users place risk-free bets. Profits average 3% every day, which adds up to big earnings. So how does OddsJam work? Well, OddsJam processes the odds over 1 million odds a minute to find the selected few profitable betting opportunities. You as the user will then receive notifications of these opportunities in real time. Finally, you'll place your bets on multiple sports books to cover all possible outcomes. That way, no matter who wins, you do. And so, how are you ready to experience the risk-free profits for yourself? Well, what you can do is you can go to oddsjam.com And if you use referral code Triple Play, you'll be able to get a 7-day free trial to access this stuff for yourself. So make sure you check them out today. Now let's get back to the video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, make sure you're subscribed if you're not already, and leave a comment below if you disagree with my top 10 list here, or if you would like to see another video going 11 to 20, because there's going to be more than 10 prospects that debut this year. Really enjoyed making this, so thanks for checking it out. Really appreciate you guys, and stay tuned for more great fantasy baseball content coming all baseball season here at Triple Play Fantasy.